Coming up on Mountain News this morning, as many counties cancel festivals and 4th of July plans, one eastern Kentucky county is still in full planning mode. And festivals were not the only events impacted by COVID-19. We'll talk with folks in the wedding industry about what they expect this summer to look like for them.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Today is Wednesday, June 24th, also known as Hump Day. And maybe putting a hump in your day is that fog that's out there causing visibility issues. Let's bring in Brandon Robinson. You've been talking about it all morning, and the major thing to do is just to slow down, right?
Slow down, give yourself plenty of time to get out the door and use those low beams this morning. As we take a look at the map, you'll see zero visibility in Logan, Pikeville, Harlan, and Jonesville. And that's just the sensors that we can see the fog on there this morning. A lot of those at airports on the higher elevations, not scanning that. So again, just be careful of that this morning. We're seeing temperatures that are much milder in the 50s and low 60s, so not too bad. I think one of the cooler spots is 57 in Monticello. Looks like 63 in Jacksboro is the warmest spot. Now everybody else in the low 60s or upper 50s. We take a look at our cooler from our trend, I guess is the way we look at it there from the last 24 hours. So this time yesterday, it was 14 degrees colder. Monticello, 10 degrees colder in Jackson and London, 11 degrees in Prestonsburg, and 12 in Middlesboro. So what a difference a day makes behind a big cold front. Out the door forecast, we're going to be heading into the upper 70s today. Some scattered chances for showers will be around this afternoon. Not everybody will see them, but keep the rain gear handy just in case. The rest of the forecast coming up here in a few minutes. Lacey?
Thank you, Brandon. And the city of Beattyville is honoring their local veterans with banners. The city has 94 banners and has 40 banners hung on light posts throughout downtown on Main Street. The banners have pictures of current and former military members. Under the pictures, it shows which branch of the military they served and the years active. The Main Street director says everyone has enjoyed honoring their loved ones.
We got those put up on Main Street, and then it just kind of exploded. People were so excited because they look wonderful. I mean, I don't think we've ever displayed any banners that look as good as these. They're patriotic. They're a way to honor people that deserve the honor.
Banners are rotated every 30 days to make sure all 94 are shown. Banners can be purchased for $100, and you can call 606-464-5007 to order one. And a Kentucky soccer player who collapsed and died during practice last week is being remembered for his gift of life. 16-year-old Matthew Mangine Jr. went to St. Henry High School in Erlanger. His father says Matthew's decision to become an organ donor speaks to the kind of person that he was.
Matthew had signed his donor card, and I had never had the conversation with him. My wife did, and Matthew had asked her about it. And she said, I do it, because to help someone else. And he made that. That was one of the last decisions of his life that he made that is, just puts into perspective who he was as a kid.
Matthew's family hopes his story will help inspire others to consider becoming an organ donor. And with positive publicity, the Appalachian School of Luthery in Knott County gained a national recognition for its Culture of Recovery program, but was unsure about funding to continue this year. But as of this week, the Appalachian Artisan Center has secured a grant for $75,000 to continue the program. I talked with those involved with the program about why this means so much.
I've really, had to sit and think, okay, what am I doing? How am I going to do this?
The coronavirus pandemic put a halt not only to businesses and going outside, but for those in the position responsible for funding programs across the country.
It resets everything that I've done over the last 3 years, because you go in, you take people to lunch, you drop off packets, you stop in. None of that's, you can't do that now.
Chris Boyd, Director of Funding and Development for the Appalachian Artisan Center, says despite national attention, funding was scarce.
During this COVID time, it's been hard to seek people to donate. Without that funding, we would have to really scale things back.
Which to people like instructor Paul Williams says is unacceptable.
People who are addicted like that, they need something constructive to do and keep their mind occupied.
A cause close to his heart.
Unfortunately, two of those, my adopted brothers, passed away to drug addiction. So I like helping people out with drug addictions.
Knowing firsthand that hands-on activities like Luthery make a difference.
I think we should have something like this in most every community, I think. There's a need for it.
Especially now, more than ever.
The funding from the NEA will allow us to find those people that have the potential to create their own entrepreneurial jobs. There's such a healing when we're involved with art, and I think that during this process, people are going to understand the importance of the Appalachian Artisan Center.
In Knott County, Lacey Roberts, WYMT Mountain News. And the Troublesome Creek String Instrument Company, the only manufacturing factory in Knott County, was founded by the Culture Recovery Program. And a fun fact, 2 out of 6 Lutheries in Eastern Kentucky graduated from the Culture Recovery Program. And One East Kentucky partnered with several other groups to introduce their Eastern Kentucky Workforce Study 2.0. The first study, conducted back in 2015, was trying to understand the skill sets of coal miners coming out of the mines and entering new fields. The new study introduces employer and resident surveys and student interviews to help collect information and input. The president of One East Kentucky says the process might take a little longer due to COVID-19.
Well, originally it was supposed to take 4 months, but I think it's going to take a little bit longer now because of the nature of our current world. Like the student survey, probably won't be able to do those until fall, and we're not sure what classes resuming are going to look like yet.
The employer and resident survey will be live through the first week of July. The link to fill out that can be found on our website. And Governor Andy Beshear did not hold a news conference last night, but instead sent out a release. Another 315 Kentuckians have tested positive for COVID-19, bringing the state's total to more than 14,000 overall. 11 more people have died. The death toll now stands at 537. However, almost 3,600 people have recovered from COVID-19. And we expect to hear from the governor later today about what Kentucky classrooms will look like this fall. The Herald Leader talked with several superintendents about plans to begin the year online. They also talked about teachers and students wearing masks during the school day. Meals will also not look the same. School leaders are thinking about expanding the cafeterias to gyms and hallways, making sure all students face the same direction and giving students more time during lunch to wash their hands. And the city of Hazard announced yesterday that they will move forward with plans for the 4th of July and other events. City officials met with Scott Lockhart from the health department to go over plans to hold events safely. The Freedom Float, a parade, and a fireworks show will still be held. The fish fry will also happen, but it will be a drive-through or carry-out only. It also encouraged that families social distance, wear masks, or stay home if they feel sick or have just traveled outside of the area.
That doesn't mean that we don't want you there. We want you there. We would love to see you. We miss everybody. But we also want to keep people as safe as possible.
The city also still plans on having their North Fork Music Festival July 24th and 25th with additional guidelines, as well as a Black Gold Festival is also still on the calendar in September. It'll be nice to get some events back and see everyone again. And all throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, as many events had to be delayed or canceled, including but not certainly limited to weddings. But as of Monday, things are starting to look up for the upcoming wedding season. WYMT Camille Gear explains.
For the last few months, this barn at the Perfect Place wedding and event venue in Perry County sits empty.
Worried if we were going to lose the venue, lose my home, just devastating.
But weddings are not the only thing the barn hosts. From baby showers to prom dinners, all were canceled due to COVID-19.
They weren't going to get to have their proms at the school. Everything was going to be canceled. So I'd say there was a lot of little girls laying in bed crying over that one.
But on Monday, the wedding industry and summer brides get some good news, with Governor Beshear announcing a 50-person limit.
Just to know that we can go ahead and start scheduling baby showers, household showers. We can let those brides know, yes, you know, we're good to go right now. We can open things up and you can have your friends and family here.
Telling her brides, your special day is more than just the flowers and the place settings.
It wasn't about a special ceremony. It wasn't about being at a certain place. It was about them being able to be together the rest of their life.
But the special day comes with extra safety precautions.
We have the COVID station where there's gloves and masks and hand sanitizer. The bathrooms have extra, stuff. And, just things that probably should have been done from the beginning.
To get every bride down the aisle safely. In Perry County, Camille Gear, WYMT, Mountain News.
Shao says that she's looking forward to seeing her weddings get back to normal.
Time now for our daily Helpers and Heroes segment here, where we honor those frontline folks from across the region. Let's get right into our first picture this morning. That comes to us from Tiffany. This is her brother, Josh Tapio. He is a court security officer at the Perry County Courthouse. Tiffany tells us that Josh has been working hard and even working overtime to make sure that he does his part to make sure that his coworkers and others who come into the courthouse stay safe. Thank you, Josh, for your dedication during this pandemic and always. Our next picture was submitted by Linda. This is Lynn Schwass. Lynn is originally from Eastern Kentucky but now lives in Northern Kentucky working as a nurse. During the COVID-19 outbreak, she went to New Jersey, not New York, New Jersey, to help out in hospitals there where the virus has hit so much harder. Thank you, Lynn, for always going above and beyond. And finally, our last picture today sent in by Debbie. This is Amanda Kahn. Amanda is a physical therapy assistant at Highlands ARH in Prestonsburg. Debbie says she loves her job, that Amanda loves her job and her patients, and would like to thank her for making a difference in the lives of so many. Thank you, Amanda, for all that you do. And of course, if you want to submit your helper or hero, you can still do that. Plenty of time to do that. Going over to the website, just go to the top of the bar. I know a lot of folks have been having trouble finding the link, but go to the top of the page, the little icon that has like the little magnifying glass. Hit search, type in Helpers and Heroes, or you can send me a message on my Facebook page, Brandon Robinson, WYMT. Make sure you put the name and make sure you put a little bit of description so we can tell their story here on the morning news. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. And thank you for joining us. We'll be right back with more Mountain News this morning.